welcome you to Chicago. Jack Clark with the lay-in as VCU is off to a flying start. A 9-3 beginning here for the Rams on the road. Jason Knapp, Tim Doyle in this key Atlantic 10 showdown. It's a 7-0 run in the last 65 seconds for the Rams. We'll step aside, back in 30 seconds to tee this one up.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions to give you peace of mind. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Visit healthcare.gov to explore plans from the brands you know. New law, lower prices. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Final deadline January 15th.
From Chicago, Gentile Arena, the raucous home of the Ramblers. This is college basketball on CBS Sports Net, presented by Fresh Bet. Hey there, Jason Knapp here, Tim Doyle, the former Northwestern legend from just down the road. How about this start here for VCU? They've come in on the road and kind of asserted themselves at the outset.
Well, their defense has been absolutely everywhere as Loyola comes into this game averaging nearly 80 points. They're finding shooters. They're playing with energy. Both these teams got off to great starts, but have kind of sputtered as of late.
Pull up there for Watson and able to can it. Bucket for the senior from Columbus, Ohio. Preseason first-team all-league selection. And VCU 4 of 4 from the floor thus far, including a vociferous dunk from Jack Clark to open the proceedings. Side rim on the jumper there from Philip Russell. And both these teams got off to great beginnings in the non-conference schedule, but VCU's dropped 2 of its last 3, and Loyola went 0 for the trip to Hawaii, dropping a trio of games at the Diamond Head Classic. Both trying to get into a rhythm early in conference play. Corner look, Watson no. And a loose ball foul coming in there, Francis Waporia. Going to go over the back and get called for the personal for Drew Valentine, season 4 at the helm for the former assistant of the program during the Final Four run in 2018. And Ryan Odom, he's got great experience in his career, led UMBC to that historic 16 seed over 1 seed win against Virginia during his time there, a couple of years at Utah State, and now has a group, Tim, that's scoring a lot of points here this year for the Rams in year 2.
Well, normally you think of VCU and their brand as defending and pressure. This VCU team averaging 33-point attempts per game. That's #1 in the A-10.
They also defend the 3 pretty well. Max Shulga, first-team all-league performer last year, not able to find the range. First miss, or excuse me, make it back-to-back misses now for the Rams. Inside, Clark able to step in front of Miles Rubin and get the foul. Turnovers have been problematic for Loyola. Point guard injury issues, and the dunk down there for Christian Furman, the junior from Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania.
A good patience there by Furman, letting the defender fly by. Loyola Chicago, they're playing at a frenetic pace right now. They got to relax a little bit. And VCU, their defense is causing that pace. Maybe more than one pass on offense, getting to a little bit of a rhythm. Loyola
just 2 of 8 shooting thus far and a couple of turnovers. They have plagued the Ramblers mightily the last couple of games, averaging 18.5 giveaways per game. There's a confident finish from Des Watson.
The Davidson transfer, there's no other way to say it. He's been up and down this year. It's good to get his confidence going with a drive going to that strong hand.
4 early for the Ramblers. Shelton Williams Jr. trying to be disruptive defensively. Back outside, Zeb Jackson, grad student, Michigan transfer. He'll attack on the way, gets the roll. Jackson 4th in this Ram team in scoring, averaging close to 11 per game.
Went to the historic Mount Verde High School in Florida, led by the legendary coach there, Kevin Boyle. VCU off to a good start on the road.
A time out of the floor with the Rams up by 6. For those of you watching our free streaming coverage, it'll conclude after the commercial. But we'll continue on CBS Sports Network. Find us by going to cbssportsnetwork.com/channel finder.
guy made a left into the river. Daddy's home. Hey, you got that thing?
Yeah, I got that thing.
Throw it in the fridge.
Oh, what's this? You keep dog food in the fridge?
It's not dog food. It's fresh pet. Real meat, real veggies for my boy Junior.
No disrespect, but what are we doing here?
Anybody asks, we were at Grandma's.
Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food food.
Those look good. We've got to get you some.
Oh, we don't need to get one.
No, today.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, baby. Your boots have holes in them.
All right.
They look so good.
Can you believe this? Doug Flutie and Frank Thomas. You guys look great. Once I turn 40,
let me guess, less energy, less drive?
Definitely. It's not your fault.
It happens to every man. Testosterone levels drop as you age.
It happened to you guys?
Yeah.
So what did you do?
We got Nugenix Total T.
To get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, text GIFT to 42424. This unique man-boosting formula is powered by Tesnor, a key ingredient clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels.
That does it. I gotta get Nugenix.
Just send a text for a complimentary bottle. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text GIFT to 42424. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you lose fat and get lean absolutely free. That's GIFT to 42424.
Having trouble building your credit because of missed payments, constant rejection, or no existing credit history? You need Self. With tools like free rent reporting, a credit builder account, and even a secured credit card, building your credit just got a little less overwhelming. Start building credit today with Self.
VCU by a half dozen here on the road at Loyola, Chicago, for two teams that got off to lightning quick starts, both out of the blocks fast. 9-2 for VCU, 9-1 for Drew Valentine and company, but both with some stumbles along the way. How about our keys to the game, brought to you by Fresh Pet, Tim, and what these teams are looking for?
Yeah, for VCU, that magic number of 76, they are 8-0 when they get there, so they want to push pace. They got dominated points in the paint by St. Bonaventure in that loss. They must be better in that area. Miles Rubin has to be a double-double threat. He had his first career double-double last year against VCU, and then obviously defend the three. You could put that as a key to any game now. Defend the three. You win the three-point line, you're going to win the game. I ran out of keys options, so I leaned on an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, you mentioned VCU takes more threes than anybody else in the A10. They take more threes than twos on the season. But on this day, Tim, they've only taken 3 threes, 9 shots, hit 6 of them in the paint. The paint edge right now to the Rams 10-2.
Well, I think all of basketball, not just college basketball, pro as well, has tilted the pendulum a little bit too far towards the three. And maybe this is a good example here of mixing it up and finding that balance. I don't know if anybody's really found that balance, because now it's either a layup or a three. I don't mind getting some layups first before you start shooting all these threes, because if shots don't go in, what else could you lean on? As for Loyola, out of this timeout, Rubin's on the floor. I'd like to see him get a touch, play through the big fella. He's a special talent. I don't want him touching it there, maybe a little bit closer to the basket.
And now foul there on Jackson, trying to be aggressive in the backcourt. Again, this VCU press will be in the face of the Ramblers a lot.
So I do something that's a little unusual. I like to stand in layup line and see how tall everybody is, because I lie about my height on my driver's license. It says I'm 6'6", but I'm really 6'5". I like to stand next to everybody to see how much they're lying in the program. Rubin's listed at 6'10". It's closer to 6'8".
Still, he finds a way to get things done on the inside for the Ramblers. There's Des Watson. He's listed at 6'5". Edwards, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. 6 on the timer. Rubin double team trying to get it outside. Just does. Watson pulls up and hits. A little bit of chaos, but the connection from distance for Des Watson. Long distance attempt for VCU, cleared by Rubin. Again, this is the conference opener for Loyola. VCU lost a tough one in its first A-10 game on the road at St. Bonaventure New Year's Eve. There's Quinn attacking the junior in his home state. And good pressure there forces VCU to throw it away.
Well, I thought that was just fantastic body control. Watch how Quinn jumps into the defender right there. See how he's able to create that space? I thought good no call by the official. But for any young person watching the game, and nobody in my eyes is better than James Harden and Luka Doncic. When they have an edge on a defender, using their body, their hip, to create that space, prevent the shot blocker from getting there. Just high basketball IQ and an excellent finish for the 6'3" junior from Illinois.
First turnover of the game for VCU. See if Dawson can get on track. Again, hurt his ankle against South Florida early December. 5 games out, trying to come back, and right now Watson has got it rolling. He's got 9 of the 14 for the Ramblers. Furman looking for help. Rubin draped on him. Michael Bell coming over to assist. He'll push it to the paint. Trying to get it up, and does. Gets it over one of the best shot blockers in the country, in Rubin. So the sophomore from London, England, getting a key bucket for VCU. Put the Rams back on top. VCU flying around on defense a little late there. Crazy reverse try for Quinn. Spins out of bounds. Joe Babasile, top scorer for VCU, will check back in.
Yeah, I think Quinn thought he was going to be able to go up on the front side. Shilga came over and helped and forced that tough shot. Now at 3 on the shot clock. Got to be some sort of quick hitter. And if I'm number 0, Des Watson, I'm looking for the ball because he already has that swag. Last jump shot, he read that screen perfectly, got to his spot. It almost like he knew it was going in before he shot it.
Saw Danil Glazkov, 6'6" freshman from Russia out of the IMG Academy, checking in here. Again with 3 on the shot clock, maybe looking to get something in deep. Instead, they run out of time. Quinn got it. Watson was wide open. Horn sounds with the shot clock expired.
You know, Drew Valentine, that's not his fault. The guys are on the court. That just can't happen. You know there's 3 on the clock. You get a shot up, maybe you get an offensive rebound, a putback. No shot. That's really an empty possession.
Dawson tangling with Babasile, and we've got a travel. Timeout on the floor. VCU, Loyola, Chicago, back and forth at the outset. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sportsnet, presented by FreshBet.
Can you feel that?
Can you believe this? Doug Flutie and Frank Thomas. You guys look great. Once I turn 40...
Let me guess. Less energy? Less drive?
Definitely.
It's not your fault. It happens to every man. Testosterone levels drop as you age.
It happened to you guys?
Yep.
So what did you do?
We got Nugenix Total T.
To get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, text FIXED to 369-369. This unique man-boosting formula is powered by Tesnor, a key ingredient clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels.
That does it. I gotta get Nugenix.
Just send a text for a complimentary bottle. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text FIXED to 369-369. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat incinerator ever, with key ingredients to help you lose fat and get lean absolutely free. That's FIXED to 369-369.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on Deal Dash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Freshpet. It's not dog food, it's food food. By Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? And by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Gliding our way through Sweet Home Chicago, a little north of downtown. Here at Gentile Arena, Ramblers trailing the Rams of VCU by a point. Jaden Dawson returning. Again, hurt an ankle, out about a month. His first game since December 7th. And Tim, that was just the start for Drew Valentine. Their next game the following week against San Francisco, Kamani Winusu and Justin Moore both get hurt. Their starting point guard in Moore tears an ACL. He's out for the season. Winusu is another guy that can work with the basketball. He's out probably a couple more weeks. So suddenly they're in turmoil with running their offense.
Yeah, and meanwhile, they were one of the last. Nice pass. Finished there by Dawson. You heard us talking about him. A great look down the floor. Loyola is one of the last 6 undefeated teams in all of college basketball, and then the injuries happened. And since Dawson just scored that hoop, got hurt, Loyola's played 5 games. They've only won 1. Only 1.
And close in a couple in Hawaii, but lost all 3 of those games at the Diamond Head Classic. And trying to put things together. And Drew Valentine telling us this morning, had an opportunity to practice for a week and get Dawson, who practiced all week, ready to roll and maybe change some of the ball handling responsibilities to give a little pressure off of Jalen Quinn. They had Jack Turner, a guy who was supposed to redshirt and walk on Caleb Reese, work with the basketball at times. And there is the emotional Jalen DeLoach getting the and one.
DeLoach was all over the court the first couple of possessions, and Drew Valentine told us going up against his old squad, we may have to take him out early because he's going to be a little pumped up. Well, after that N1, he's more than just a little pumped up.
Again, in this day and age, college basketball, sometimes you see your old teammates after leaving a couple of years ago, played under Mike Rhodes and then left, played last year in Georgia, now back in the Atlantic 10, getting that to go. And he had a monster game for VCU against Loyola here 2 years ago. And now he's flipped the script and swapped uniforms. Ramblers by 4. Good hands from Tim Doyle. You still got it.
Come on. Of course, easy peasy. You know, the thing is, I was protecting you. You know, yesterday you're driving on Lakeshore Drive, boom, a pothole. You're out there fixing a flat in 5-degree weather.
Got to do what you got to do.
I feel for you, you know what I mean? I just kind of rub your shoulder. I go, I'm your friend.
Hey, man, want to pump yourself up? Get a 3 there from Philip Russell, able to knock it down. That should put some air in the tires of the Rams here from distance as they get their second 3 of the game for a team that relies on it so much.
Russell, 6 big threes last out against St. Bonaventure. Season high, 26 points.
DeLoach fell trying to keep it alive. And we've got a held basketball call.
You know, we just talked about that emotion from DeLoach. And not always positive, right? Like maybe trying to do a little bit too much here and puts it on the floor. And I don't know about you. There's an energy to this game. Frenetic pace. You know, Loyola hasn't lost at home in a long time. And VCU's kind of matched them. You could tell we're into conference play here.
Did you feel it like the first game of the new year because you know that you're really into conference play at that time?
Yes, because it's also a clean slate, right? You went to Hawaii. It was a disaster for Loyola. They lost every game. They easily could have won 2 of 3. I mean, last out against Murray State, they lose. They shot 62% in that game. So it's like a rebirth conference play.
And the Rams, who feast on threes, have devoured the Ramblers on the inside here early on. 6 of 7 from inside the arc. Max Shulga trying to get free. And that'll be Sheldon Edwards picking up the personal. And for VCU, Tim, we mentioned New Year's Eve, tough loss at St. Bonaventure. Again, that was a super game. 10 ties, 16 lead changes for Ryan Odom against the Bonnies. And he talked about his team. We weren't ourselves defensively, didn't impose our style on them, being disruptive. Still had a shot to win at the end of the game, and that's something. Lob there, trying to link with Luke Bamboye, the big freshman from London, England, out of AZ Campus Prep.
Yeah, Shulga kind of just threw it up there. I think he got bailed out. Easily could have been a turnover. How about the job Mark Schmidt has done again at St. Bonaventure?
13-1.
I know Woj is up there now running their NIL. We're thinking and praying for him as he's going through his health challenges. But Mark Schmidt, I cannot believe he's still there winning games and no one's poached him away.
Russell can't hit it on the edge. McCoria working hard for Loyola, and we'll stay at this end.
Well, you have all this changeover in college basketball with all of these new rosters as guys are trying to figure out their role. And like Drew Valentine, everyone had their role. They were undefeated, and then the injuries happened, and now all the roles get changed up again. And that is the roller coaster now because it's so hard to keep guys and develop that culture in college basketball.
Shulga on the attack, gets it to go. Speaking of the changing landscape of college basketball, how about a coach being able to bring guys with him from his old stop to his new stop? Max Shulga, one of those. Had Josh Bairstow last year. Shulga still here. I know what I'm calling it. Just a great luxury to have a guy that knows what you do and help set the table. There's Edwards. Nobody stopped him, and he gets the deuce off the window.
Well, it's like showing up to play in a park and bringing your crew with you. You know who's going to rebound. You know who's going to distribute the ball. No, it definitely is a new world order in college basketball. Get used to it. You see Edwards there, more known for his three-point shooting. 70% of his shots this year have been threes, so it's rare that he even shoots a two.
And after getting the two at one end, picks up foul number 2 at the other. And he'll check out. Glaskov comes back in. See the subs flowing for VCU as well. Bambasil, Bamboye on the bench. There's Jackson looking to attack baseline. Kick out for Russell. Furman on the interior can score with his back to the basket, but a little short that time. Watson's leading point getter for Loyola with 9. Ramblers started 2 of 8 shooting. Since then, they've hit 7 of their last 8 from the floor. And the trend doesn't continue. Watson can't stick it. But they'll have the foul there with Bukoria try to be active on the inside. Team number 3 there on VCU. And that's the second on Zeb Jackson. Quinn on the underneath out of bounds. Just finally lobs it for Rubin. Had to get it in.
I actually thought he traveled out of bounds. He moved his feet. And when you're stationary like that, now they're going to get an offensive foul. And Rubin, I think it's a bit of a makeup. Either way, VCU. Check out his feet here. You're not allowed to move. Look, there, see shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Yep, it's a walk. He shuffled, I don't know, 3 times. So you're not allowed to move. Hey, trust me, I'm reading the book from CBS about the rule changes. Seems like new rules every year, but that's an old rule, a very old rule. You're not allowed to move.
Rubin picks up the foul. Shulga going strong, high off the glass, can't get it to pop down. Long tap out for Russell. Clark, little hesitation there. VCU wanted the turnover call. Brandon Jennings in the corner. Baseline push, trying to get it done over Rubin. That's a hard task. Watson flashing the other way. Get knocks it down. Des Watson, 5 of 8 from the floor thus far, and Loyola up 3. Nice little fake. Defense comes back, but Furman calmly banks it in.
It's kind of the same exact thing that happened on his first basket. Caught the ball, was able to finish with patience.
Quinn streaking to the basket, and then it hits the deck after the miss. Clark. Extra pass back for Russell. And how about that look from Shulka, shoving it right back to see the open man.
Yeah, they had numbers, VCU, as 5 on 4. And college guys up and down with their decision making when you have an advantage like that. Great execution on that particular play from VCU. Got a great look and found their shooter.
Third triple of the game for the Rams. All 3 courtesy of Philip Russell, who's 3 of 5. Watson, double coming. Wakoria, he'll knock it down. Doesn't take a ton of threes, but has the ability to knock him down. His 11th of the year, over 40% from deep. Ramblers by 1. Influence there by Rubin. Out of bounds. Will stay here on this side of the floor, but the pace, Tim Doyle, picking up.
Loyola making a run here at home. And sometimes the old school plays work. The cut frees open a shooter. Ramblers got the lead in Chicago.
USAA for the military community and their families.
Cut. Sam, I really need to feel that USAA service. Gronkier.
Grunkier. USAA. You could be eligible if your spouse, parents, or even your grandparents served.
That was it. You're in.
As a veteran, I'm already in. You? I wouldn't get your hopes up, son. USAA. Are you eligible?
Why has America accepted the wait for payday when life doesn't wait for you to get paid? Introducing MyPay from Chime, a revolutionary new way of getting your pay when you want. Get up to $500 of your pay before payday. No interest, no credit check, no mandatory fees. When any day is payday, it's a good day. Get paid when you say with MyPay. Get started at Chime.com.
Well, the students still on break here, the actual attendees of Loyola Chicago, but some younger students getting in the flow of things here right after the new year. Loyola Chicago by a point. How about Jaden Dawson back and making a difference?
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's also getting help right now from Des Watson, making shots. When this backcourt was complete earlier this year, it was a Loyola team that opened up 9-1. They were playing with confidence. They understood their identity. But Des Watson was a preseason first-team All-Player. And it's been a little bit of a roller coaster this year, up and down. The transfer from Davidson, he has a certain swag to him, though, in the first half. He's off to a fast start.
Drew Valentine talked about that, the pressure maybe of playing as a first-team All-League guy, and told him maybe to just try to focus on getting back to winning. Winning takes care of a lot of things. You'll get the accolades and maybe the achievements that you want in the notoriety if this team thrives like it did last year when it shared the regular season crown with Richmond, taking on the team that's the preseason pick in the league this year here in VCU. And as good as we would hope for to this point, separated by 1 with under 6 left to go first half.
All right, great crowd. I mean, nearly sold out arena. You talked about no students being here, but fans are into it. And, you know, you go to a Final Four, you have some success in the tournament. People still excited about this Loyola program, and that's why the hire of Drew Valentine, keeping it in the family. You know when you have a moment when you're like, wow, I'm starting to get old? Drew Valentine here 4 years. That was the moment. And then Sister Jean at 105, then I felt really old. I go, man, Sister Jean's been around a while.
Certainly is. And you think about VCU success in its Final Four run. There's Sister Jean watching her team, 105 years young. Did the preseason, or excuse me, the pregame prayer as usual. And her team delivering thus far. Offline for Dawson. Offensive rebound there. DeLoach. Nifty pass. Back for Dawson, who misfires. But he'll earn a trip to the free throw line. Foul coming on Brandon Jennings.
DeLoach is going up against his old squad. You see him call out the cut. I think that's one thing that's missing now, and really all of basketball, is when someone catches the ball in the post, you don't have the basketball and you're away from it. I'm always telling kids, do something. Cut, set a screen. You could screen to get yourself open. DeLoach had to kind of say, like, hey, cut here, and he was able to get a good look.
Tomorrow morning, 8 Eastern, get ready for the final week of the NFL regular season with your favorite gridiron crew. They deliver the latest highlights and analysis. Watch that other pregame show here on CBS Sports Network.
So who wins it this year, Jason? That putting you on the spot.
Well, as a East Coast guy, the Philadelphia Eagles that I grew up rooting for look pretty good. Saquon Barkley, anyone?
He's going to sit out, right? Not going to chase the record.
Believe that is the case. I'm sure the Tops gang will be picking through that tomorrow. Russell trying to pick through traffic here on the interior. Back for Clark. And fouled before the shot.
I think the most amazing stat this year in the NFL is that the Chiefs have failed to break 30 points in an NFL game. In my eyes, they're the team to beat. Check out this. This is almost like Larry Bird-esque over the backboard. Clark had that big dunk early, but we haven't seen much since.
And does have 4. And a couple of rebounds as well for the Rams. That was part of the signature story for VCU at the outset of this one. That big dunk and a nice lead early on for the Rams, but we've been close pretty much since. And a follow tap there. Furman rising up. And getting consistent offense in the post has been a problem at times this year for VCU, but Furman, who averages about 5 per game, already has 6.
Yeah, you wonder why that's happening, and I'll tell you why. They're getting some, easier buckets because Loyola knows they're going to guard the 3. You come into a game like this, and Drew Valentine is in that locker room saying we got to have 2 feet above the 3-point line on a team that leads the A-10 in 3-point attempts, over 30 a game. So far, Loyola has only surrendered 9 3-point attempts. Good job by VCU. That's the thing. You got to take what the defense gives you. I know you're a 3-point shooting team, but if everyone's going to be extending like that, Furman, other bigs are going to be open closer to the basket.
Drew Valentine also told us one of the keys, again, limiting turnovers for his squad is limiting second chances for the Rams. 6 second chance points thus far for VCU. And again, 18-12 edge in the paint for the visitors as well. Dawson, Bamasiel defending. Dawson pulls it up deep in the shot clock, and Bamasiel puts his hands on his head after getting called for the foul.
That was really close to being a shot clock violation. Now, this is going to show if the clock was about to go off. We got a shot behind them, guys. They're not even going to review it. No, it was close. That's the last thing you want to do as a defender, is obviously foul a shooter.
Dawson able to deliver the first. Again, full week of practice for him. And we'll see if he can get back to his full explosive capabilities, a guy that's got zero fear, Tim, and he will go at times with kind of reckless abandon.
He had a really nice cut. He's able to get to the free throw line, and now, you know, when you're able to get to the line, make some shots, it grows your confidence as a player.
30-27, Ramblers here, 5 of 6 from the line. VCU has not attempted a free throw yet. And the baseline throw up there from Russell. Again, Quinn going to get called for the foul, his first. And again, that puts Loyola over the limit. 1-and-1 opportunity here for Philip Russell. 81.5% free throw shooter from the line. Another guy that's had multiple ports of call in college hoops. St. Louis, Southeast Missouri State, UT Arlington, where he was the WAC 6th Man of the Year. And now here in Richmond with VCU.
Somewhere Howard Dean is smiling. We're going to go to Texas, Wyoming, UT Arlington, VCU. We're going to go back to DC, take back the White House. Woo!
Got your politics on speed dial with the memory banks. Alongside Timmy Doyle, Jason Knapp with you from Chicago. And how about Glasgow able to stick one down? He's given the Ramblers some minutes more and more off the bench. The freshman. Little chat there. You see Dawson signaling for a review, and now the officials chat about it, and it will be Rambler ball.
Oh boy, it's Chicago, it's cold, and sports is all people care about this time of year. Atlantic 10 conference play, Ramblers making a run at home.
It's the Derby della Madonnina in the EA Sports FC Super Cup Final on CBS Sports Network and streaming live on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, people like Geico because it's just easy. Bundling, for example. You've got car insurance here and home insurance here. Why not? Zoop, put them together. Save even more. Some things are better together, aren't they? Like tea and crumpets. You wouldn't bundle just anything. Like, say, a porcupine in a balloon factory. No, that'd be a mess. I mean, for starters, porcupines are famously no good in a team setting.
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
Look, she's just sitting here building her credit by...
I forgot you were here.
Self gives you credit for the rent you were going to pay anyways, and reports it to the credit bureaus within 72 hours. Free credit building for renters with Self.
Join the millions who are feeling the power of Osteo Biflex, the #1 pharmacist recommended joint care supplement. Find our coupons in Sunday's paper.
Live CBS January 5th.
To the Bear, a comedy as funny as an actual bear. To Timothy Chalamet, raise a glass, because that's what his bones are made of.
The Golden Globes, live Sunday, January 5th on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Here in Chicago, the Rams and the Ramblers ready to ramble on here towards the end of the first half. 32-28, Loyola Chicago over VCU here from Gentile Arena in Chicago. Jason Knapp, Tim Doyle, glad to have you with us. How about this Loyola team? Again, the 9-1 start for Loyola before the last 3 losses, Tim. Best for the program since 1962-63. The year the Ramblers won the national title and they started 21-0. But boy, things can change in a hurry. The injuries and the struggles, but this team, after a week of practice, getting one key piece back, looks a little more comfortable right now.
Well, you see the history there, winning that championship in '63, and then obviously Porter Moser and that historic team, Clayton Custer, Cameron Krutwick, it's going to go down in Final Four lure, and you wonder if a team like Loyola could make a run like that to the Final Four in this world of NIL? And does a team with that continuity and culture beat a team with talent and payroll? I think it does. So if you're able to find a team that can play together, everyone understands their roles, like a Marquette. Shaka Smart's done a great job of retaining players, and you see the success they're having.
Drew Valentine talking with us a little bit about that and his role changing. Said year one as head coach, he was so tightly grasped in everything, delegating a little more, spending more time on some one-on-one activity, and also doing NIL CEO type stuff. But Des Watson earning himself some high praise right now, continuing his torrid first half, giving 14 on 6 of 9 shooting. Seven-point advantage. Largest edge of the game for the Ramblers. Russell, nice little flick to Furman, who continues to produce on the interior. 8 now for the junior.
Well, you could see them overplaying Russell in the 3, and he was able to take advantage of it, get into the lane, and find Furman, who's been a recipient of not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different easy shots at the rim.
How about Watson? Preseason first-team All-League indeed, at least at the start of this one. His third triple, give him 17. And now Dawson tracking back, going to pick up the foul.
Yeah, Watson had that look in his eye rather early that, yeah, he's talking smack. He's pumped up. He's fired up. He's been great. And I think a lot of that might be the up and down year he's had, that frustration and getting it out. Conference play has started, and it started in a big way for Mr. Des Watson.
Season high 24 earlier this year against Eastern Michigan. That equals his career high, and he's within range of that. Still with a little over 2 minutes to go in this opening half. And now it's Russell at the stripe for VCU. And he's got all 3 threes for the Rams, who average about 9.5 makes from beyond the arc of the year. Russell had 6 threes in the tight loss at St. Bonaventure on Tuesday. And a season high 26 for a guy that can fill it up. We mentioned all of his different places on his college hoop resume. Had a career high 37 a couple of years ago for Southeast Missouri State.
But now if you're VCU, you just need to stop. It seems like Loyola's getting whatever they wanted. And obviously, if you're VCU, you got to find number 0, Des Watson.
Both teams over 50% from the floor, 52% for VCU, 58% shooting thus far for Loyola. Dawson watches it ding out. Shulga pushing it for Bamasi. Bell on the turn. Furman able to clean up inside. How about Bamasi and Shulga? Tim, we mentioned earlier, they combined for about 33 points per game. Combined so far, they have 4. It's Furman and Russell who've got 10 and 12 respectively. There is Miles Rubin on the follow.
Yeah, DeLoach kept that rebound alive. That's easily the 5th offensive rebound that he has kept alive. Great energy, and Rubin's able to finish.
And that's the first bucket of the game for the rising sophomore from home here in Chicago, Miles Rubin. Bamasi, and nobody likes the call from a Loyola perspective, but the foul is on Jaden Dawson. But coming up on AT&T at the half, Brent Stover, Chris Walker, Isis Young, and John Rothstein break down all things college basketball on a busy Saturday. That's all ahead on AT&T at the half.
I booked Brent Stover a country singing gig here in Chicago.
Did you?
Yeah, and he allowed me to introduce him on stage at Bub City. And then, you know, I don't think he's going to want to hear this, but he started playing like his originals. And that, you know, Brent, all we want to hear is Wagon Wheel. Just keep playing Wagon Wheel over and over again.
See what tune he and the crew were singing coming up at halftime as you see Bell trying to gather himself after an awkward spill. Now this kind of cut under. It looked like he went off Wakoria and Rubin, who had maybe a little contact into the chest of the VCU player.
Yeah, I mean, as a player, once your feet are both off the ground, there's no worse feeling, because you know you're headed in one direction, and that's just hurts for now. He's able to get back out there.
In the 6'8" sophomore, athletic trainer Josh Wall out. Ryan Odom looking on. Ryan Odom going to spend some time to chat with his team. Tim, we mentioned that flying start. Won 9 of 10, lost 2 of 3 since. Good hand for Bell getting up off the deck. But if you look at VCU, 3 of 4 losses by 2 or less points. And he talked about, hey, we win some of those games, we're feeling a little bit better, but it still doesn't maybe fix some of the problems we've had in those games, and just trying to get everything cleaned up and tightened up before you get into the thick of conference play.
Yeah, well, with these teams ever changing, keeping everybody's emotion and spirits high is so important, because everyone is so new. So your teams can go into real downward spirals if you start losing, because there isn't that established culture. Guys haven't played with one another. So, those close losses, they hurt even more than they ever did before. But you want to keep everyone feeling so good as they're buying into a new program.
Officials did review that foul on Miles Rubin. Nothing there, just a common foul. And the 1-and-1. And Rubin, 63% shooter, back heels the free throw attempt. Under a minute left to go here, first half. Again, the preseason pick in the A-10, trailing one of the co-champs of the league last year in Loyola. Trying to get Scholke going. Tim, a guy that can do so many things, and he really hasn't had a big kind of imprint thus far on this game.
No, he struggled against them last year too. In 30 minutes against Loyola, he only had 3 points. And I don't mind that shot he took, because it created a 2-for-1 opportunity. Nobody thinks like that in college. I'm okay with this shot as well. Banks it in.
Bamasil bams it off the glass and in. And a timeout taken here with 39.5 left to go. First triple of the game for Bamasil. And we'll be back to Chicago in a moment.
Ooh, stuck paying for that old phone? Don't be. At Verizon, we'll pay off your phone, and you'll get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. Now with Genmoji. That's a value of up to $1,800. Only on Verizon.
Sister Jean omnipresent here in Chicago again. Loyola up 3. Tail end of this first half this afternoon on CBS Sports Network. Jalen Quinn ready to step up here at the free throw line. Got any New Year's resolutions as we get into 2025, Mr. Doyle?
Wow, that's a fantastic question. Yeah, the resolutions are all the same, okay? Always get out in the sun for 15 minutes. Try to do a little grounding, get the shoes off, walk outside. Always good for the spirit, a little exercise, plenty of water, no more late nights. We all know what my struggle is, the late nights.
Early start today here in the early afternoon in the Windy City. Glad to have you along for the ride. Quinn, again, taking this out of bounds after the timeout. Excuse me, and now the walk called here on Quinn.
Now, that was fantastic coaching from Ryan Odom. Out of the timeout, they went zone, and then they trapped the ball once it went over half court. I love everything about the last two possessions. There's your trap right there. And obviously Loyola wasn't prepared. They hadn't seen Loyola. But I love the 2-for-1. Now they have a chance to get 6 points instead of maybe getting 3 or maybe even at a +1 by shooting the ball twice and shooting it early. The guy banked in a 3, but it could be a huge swing in this game.
Seeing if they can capitalize on this extra opportunity. Russell wheels it inside. Clark trying to gather on the baseline. Bamasiel wants the handle, and time's gonna expire. All that work, and how about the activity there for Loyola defensively to mess things up?
The energy from Loyola.
Tests respectively. We'll see if they start to have more influence in putting the ball through the hoop. Loyola has it to begin the second half here at home, trying to make it 9 games, 9 wins here in this building on the campaign. Quinn, skip, trying to get Watson in after the 17 of the first half. 8 left of the time. Dawson had 9 first half points. Well off target.
You could see Quinn was hesitant to shoot it. He's only made 1 3 this entire season.
And that's turned over there by VCU. Again, just the 4th giveaway of the game on the Rams. And Bamasiel here 2 years ago had 25 in a win for VCU. Last year at Siegel Center in Richmond, another win for the Rams. And those are the only 2 other meetings all time for these programs. And with Loyola, relative newcomer to the Atlantic 10. Watson surveys. Baseline rejected. Bamboye stuffs it back. And out of bounds. That'll be VCU ball.
I liked how that possession started off. Watson set a back screen. He was able to get a good look from 3 and then didn't shoot it. Got a pump fake and then a little bit too much dribbling and then the turnover.
Both teams solid in the block game. VCU in particular tied for the league lead entering the weekend with St. Joe's. And blocks per game. Clark pull up. Off the front rim. Bamboye active again. Nice lead. Clark the layup for 2.
Yeah, great cut by Clark, and did not put his head down when he missed the 3, and he has struggled from deep. Instead, got back in the play, was able to score.
Clark now with 6, 3 of 4 from the floor. See the second chance points. Sizable advantage for the Rams. 13-3. Dawson. Dump down. DeLoach. Up and in. And the little small call to the defender there with the hand down for DeLoach the other way.
That was maybe the easiest basket we have seen inside for Loyola Bait today. DeLoach was all over the court in the first half, grabbing offensive rebounds. Finally, his teammates gave him the ball with a chance to score, and he was able to do that. I would like to see VCU maybe post up Shoga because they're trying to run him off screens, and it's not working.
How about Jack Clark? They'll work on the turnaround from the baseline, and that looked good. A couple of buckets here. Second half for Jack Clark. Watson trying to knock down the catch and shoot from the corner. Shoulder. What a move. But runs into Rubin, one of the best shot blockers in the country. And finally, Rubin called for the foul. That'll be his 3rd.
Shoga was just determined there, wasn't he, Jason? Just put his head down, get to the line. A veteran play for the Utah State transfer that came over with his coach, Ryan Odom. And just kept pump faking until he got Rubin off the floor.
Let me correct that. Just the 2nd foul on Rubin, who last year as a freshman sent the single-season school block record for the Ramblers. Maybe not as many this year, Tim, because people know you don't want to really go right at 24 because it may come back your way.
Well, that's certainly true. When you get that reputation, that goes in the scouting report that once you get in the lane, look to dish off because they have an intimidating presence there with Ruben.
Shulga trying to get his offense going from the free throw line. That will work. And you see VCU with its first leads. It's 25-23. Deflects back to Dawson in attack mode. Can't get it. How about Bamasil flying in for the Bulls?
Now you start seeing that VCU, maybe emotion starting to take over now. You feel a push coming on from the Rams.
Trying to win their first true road game of the year. The other two places like this, tough one to get wins at New Mexico. And then that A-10 conference opener last time out against St. Bonaventure on New Year's Eve. Disruption there from Loyola defensively. Quinn, the flick from Edwards. Pass on the inside, kick out. 3 on the way, and off target from Bokoria. Russell surging all the way to the cup, and a whistle. And Russell seen his prowess from 3. How about aggressively for 2?
Yeah, Loyola was called for a carry there. It's just some sick handles able to get to the free throw line. Some serious shake and bake there. Phil Russell.
Foul on Bokoria. That's his 3rd. Russell from the line. 3 of 4 thus far. Part of his 12-point tally. Can't get another.
And he's got the accessories in full bloom. He's got not just tights on, full length tights. With the arm sleeve.
A little finger wrap too, kind of.
A lot going on.
It works for the guy that's gifted in the point scoring category. Ramblers just 1 of 6 shooting in the half. And Jackson frustrated. A shove there on him. And that's his 3rd.
The VCU is looking for a travel. There's the bomb. Kind of a push in the back there from Russell afterwards.
Nice backdoor. Extra pass. Glasgow. Fouled in the corner. A trio of free throws coming up.
Yeah, that was a great cut and then an outstanding recovery in the paint, but then not so outstanding as you see Russell fouling the shooter. Now the freshman from Russia goes to the free throw line.
Part of the squad from IMG Academy. The free throws a work in progress. Just 2 of 9 from the line now of the year.
The latest rankings in high school basketball has IMG Academy #1 high school team in the country.
Second one pops down.
He's making them interesting here.
How about that? Can you do that in Pop-A-Shot now these days?
Yes, in Pop-A-Shot, yes, that's hard to do. But one good thing was he was shooting it straight. Just a little bit too much on it, but he was able to get the bounce.
Clark lost it out of bounds. Loyola basketball here in Chicago in a tie game early second half. Well, a week ago we lost our beloved colleague Greg Gumbel, whose legendary broadcasting career began here in Chicago. Greg spent his formative years in Hyde Park Attending De La Salle High School, he debuted as a sportscaster here in 1972 and spent the next 50 years bringing iconic sporting events into our lives. His versatility unmatched, as were his kindness and humor. He will be dearly missed.
The guy made a left into the river. Daddy's home. Hey, you got that thing?
Yeah, I got that thing.
Throw it in the fridge.
Oh, what's this? You keep dog food in the fridge?
It's not dog food. That's fresh pet. Real meat, real veggies for my boy Junior.
No disrespect, but what are we doing here?
Anybody asks, we were at Grandma's.
Fresh Pet. It's not dog food, it's food.
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Don't leave me outside. Leave me outside. Leave me outside.
Pros believes your skin and hair have unique stories, and there's no generic recipe that works for everyone. Day in and day out. That's why Pros makes beauty personal with truly custom formulas. Personalized to your one-of-a-kind hair, skin, and story. Always made to order. Always just for you. See how personalization works better at pros.com.
The dentist will be right in.
Hey, I heard you're retiring soon. You excited?
Yeah, Doc, but I'm about to lose my dental insurance.
You can get your own from Physicians Mutual. I think my work here is done.
Wait, what?
Get affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It helps cover everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. No deductibles, no annual maximum. For all the details, visit dentalnow.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Look, she's just sitting here building her credit by...
I forgot you were here.
Self gives you credit for the rent you were going to pay anyways and reports it to the credit bureaus within 72 hours. Free credit building for renters with Self.
44s are wild here in Chicago. Early second half for VCU and Loyola Chicago. Ryan Odom and the Rams trying to avoid an 0-2 start in league play in back-to-back seasons. Before that, this program hadn't lost its first two conference games in a row to start since being 0-3 in the CAA, Tim, in 97-98. That's a long time. It tells you how consistent, no matter who's been in charge of the program, this Ram team has been throughout the last quarter century.
Yeah, well said. I mean, some outstanding coaches, whether it's Anthony Grant or Mike Rhodes, Shaka Smart, you just go down the list. It's been an amazing job. And Ryan Odom is fortunate to man this squad up for a second year. A different environment in college basketball, and he's trying to navigate those waters, building a team that fits his culture. You see the points per game, nearly 80 a game. The defense, though, I've been impressed. They have been intense from the word go against Loyola.
And he wanted to get that defensive intensity backed up, kind of felt they didn't have enough disruption against St. Bonaventure in that A-10 opener on Tuesday. DeLoach able to lay it in.
That was unusual defense, wasn't it? It was almost like begging him to turn left, and he was like, okay, cool, I'm going to turn left and lay it in. They've given him the ball twice down low, and he's had the two easiest buckets of the game.
7 now for DeLoach. Again, had 16 in this building 2 years ago for VCU. And now the shift for him, able to scoop up the board too.
I like that post up for Shogo, though. He got a good touch and was able to get a pretty good look, just not able to finish.
Dawson, high and over the backboard. VCU basketball coming up. See DeLoach?
I mean, check out that defense there. I mean, Furman was just begging him to turn left, and he did, as you see the former VCU forward donned a few jerseys. now going up against his former squad.
You see it all the time in the NBA. Guys shift teams, free agency, get traded, and it feels like you're going to see it more and more in the college game too. Different homes for these teams.
Well, people were always transferring. His bodies are flying here. Quinn and Russell go flying. You know, people were always transferring. I transferred from a Big East school in St. John's to a Big Ten school in Northwestern. But what you didn't see, and you're seeing it more, is now that interconference transferring. That is something you never saw before, because when I was playing, you didn't have to sit out 1 year. You used to have to sit out 2 if you transferred in conference. And now the rules are, if you go to junior college and come out, you got 4 years of eligibility. And now the NCAA is even thinking about adding a 5th year of eligibility. Does that mean my 4 years, I have another year left?
We'll see. So Michael Lucky coming over to give you an explanation?
Yeah, and you want to know something? I only have 1 good ear. My other ear doesn't work, but I was able to hear that one. And they got an offensive foul on Russell, but they're looking at a potential hook and hold. See if those arms locked around.
And that would rise the level into the flagrant category with the hook and hold. So the officials going to take a peek. What do you think? Maybe with the arm going down? I don't know. For Russell, that's his 3rd foul, all in the half.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look great because he did grab his foot there at the end, but here's my deal with the reviews, and I know this is a hard job. We need a shot clock on these things, and if we can't come to an opinion, we got to get this game moving still. So I know the refs have a job, and it's a tough one to do, but the reviews. Well, he's falling on top. So what's your natural tendency? Someone's falling on top of you. You are going to try to protect your face.
That's going to be a hard one, it feels like, to figure out intent. And Michael Lucky informing us just a common foul. And again, that's the 3rd on Russell here in the half. A little chat there for the grad student veteran. You ever win any arguments with officials?
No, you never win an argument. An official never looks at a college student athlete and says, "You want to know something? You're right." So it's better off just to be nice to them. Try to butter them up. The one thing I always tried to do when I was playing was never have 2 fouls in the first half, because that's an automatic coach takes you out. So be nice to the refs. Maybe you get a call.
Russell still out there with that 3 spot of fouls here in the half. Edwards for Rubin. And 1. Guy on the all-rookie and all-defensive team last year as a freshman for the Ramblers.
Yeah, I mean, he got fouled a little bit earlier, but I like the continuation. I think you could ask 10 referees this call. 5 would say it's on the ground. 5 would say it's an N1. I like the continuation. I think it's more exciting, adds more points. On the floor fouls are kind of boring.
High arching free throw for Rubin. And he's going to pick up the loose fall foul, chasing after it. That'll be his 3rd. But Tim saw his scoring numbers, 9.5 per game, but career high 21, one of the early games in Hawaii against Oakland. And when he's touched the basketball and shot it from the floor recently, how about making 22 of his last 25 shots? Question is, can you get him in position to finish?
Yeah, I don't know if they posted him up once the entire game today. So he's really just a true rim runner, like that finish there. Screen, cut, get the ball, and either try to dunk it or finish right at the rim.
Dawson now picks up his 3rd foul.
I mean, that's what the big man position has become. You know, like they've posted up DeLoach in this game twice, and he has scored relatively easy. The difference in my era was they would keep posting him up, and I'm curious if Loyola goes more plays or posting him up. This is what we kind of asked for with Shulga, putting him in the post.
They get him there, can't hit. And Shulga, shooting-wise in this game, now 1 of 8. And you look at the trifecta of Ramblers with 3 fouls apiece. The lead 4. Watson has it taken away. Russell, transition 3, long carom for Jackson. Nice save by DeLoach. Quinn watched it fly out of his mitts. They'll say touched out by VCU. Glaskov returning. And 6-0 run here for the Ramblers in the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds to push Loyola Chicago in front by 4. VCU's missed its last 5 shots and 3 turnovers in the last 3 minutes and 1 second, in which they do not have a point.
I like this right here.
Shulga poaching. Glaskov runs into Jackson on the edge and lost it out of bounds.
I like the post up, and then good job by DeLoach by finding his teammate, but freshman maybe made a freshman mistake there. Maybe could have let that ball go out of bounds. Instead he touched it out of bounds and VCU possession.
And for Loyola, with Dawson getting a breather. Watson getting a breather, trying to find some offense in that last set. And now on the run on the baseline, foul coming. And now they'll get Des Watson back up off the bench to the Ramblers. And that's number 4 on Wakori. Watson going to come in for Quinn. 3 of 11 shooting here second half for Loyola. 2 of 8 for VCU. And again, including missing the last 5 in a row from the floor. Bambasil have a throw at his feet. Edwards, how about the speed from Russell to knock it loose?
This first half was fantastic. Both teams shot around 50%. Ball was moving, scored in different ways. This second half, oh boy, it has been choppy to say the least, and both teams have had a really tough time getting any sort of offensive rhythm going. You see VCU, they took great care of the basketball in the first half. Not so much here to start the second half with 5 early turnovers.
Yeah, less than 8 minutes into the half, we got 6 turnovers, 5 of 19 shooting, and 11 fouls. Edwards can't deliver. Corner look, Bambasil. Furman on the follow tap, and the secondary one comes. Excellent work on the offensive glass for VCU. 15 second chance points now for the Rams. There's 3. For a guy that's good for about 3 triples per game on average, you know one's coming sooner or later. His first of the game, first of the half for the Ramblers. Bambasil. And Watson called for the contact. Energy high here in the new year in an A-10 showdown. You're watching college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Fresh Bet.
Now you have 3 roommates. Well, you're in luck because Self will securely report your positive rent payments to all 3 credit bureaus for free. So you can increase your credit score and improve your living situation. Get free rent reporting. Download Self today.
Ball speed is very important to me. When you have more speed, you have more advantages.
Probably the most important thing is the spin.
With more spin comes more control.
Spin and control is my bread and butter.
When you have optimal spin control, you can do anything. That's always going to make you play better.
Welcome back to Narayana Island, the reunion. This season, we saw a perfect match. iPhone 12 with 5G and Apple Watch SE.
Get iPhone 12 with 5G and Apple Watch SE, both are only $99.99, only at Metro.
Ramblers by home in their Atlantic 10 opener by 5. And we'll get to see Loyola Chicago again next Saturday as they hit the road to take on St. Joseph's in the A-10, 3 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network. Now the Hawks last night taking it on the chin on the road at St. Louis on a Friday night. Xavier Brown, though, last time he hooked up with the Ramblers, he did some damage.
Yeah, and you remember teams that you're able to cook and have monster nights against. Do you want to know mine?
Sure.
Imagine if you were like, no, I really don't care. Obviously, Loyola there, 15 straight at home. Purdue, I've only scored 20 points twice in college. 26 against Purdue, 20 against Purdue. And yes, I wish I played Purdue every game. So to Brown's point, he wishes he could go up against Loyola every game. I can't remember what happened yesterday. And I sometimes forget my children's names. But you want to go stat for stat on a game? I'll get in the weeds.
So the next time the Boilermakers saw Tim Doyle, they were game planning against you. Number 1 of the scouting report.
Matt Painter was the coach then. He's still the coach now. Winning games in a big way. For Purdue, Braden Smith. No more Zach Edey in West Lafayette.
How about Joe Bamaseal trying to get cooking, top point getter on this team. Limited in the opening half. Work from the free throw line here. In a sluggish offensive second half for both. Each team only made 1 of its last 6 from beyond the arc.
I like that they're trying to post up DeLoach. Someone's got to move. If they're standing around, that's no good.
Into a tight space in the corner. Edwards can't hit. How about Recoria with the 4 fouls, able to get the board. Dawson just not in rhythm after the long injury layoff. Bamaseal tried to fake the defense, maybe faked out himself. Edwards. Oh, the little delay there on the handoff from Dawson maybe got him out of rhythm. That'll still remain Rambler ball.
Yeah, I don't think either one of those fast breaks are going to be in the
Transition Hall of Fame?
No. You remember those baseball videos, back-to-back championships? That would not be the style of fast breaks for either one of those two teams.
Again, over 50% shooting for both in the opening half. It's 25% for the Ramblers here since the break, 27% for VCU. Still just where we were at the break, 3-point game. And Dawson again, fearless on the take, get a couple of free throws ahead.
Yeah, it's great to see Dawson back out there. And if you've been following Loyola basketball this year, he's a difference maker. There's no other way to say it. He gets hurt. They win 1 of their next 5 games. And Jason, he's looked pretty effective out on the floor. And this is not an easy matchup to come back and get thrown in the fire against VCU in a conference game.
And he's been able to kind of be a confident performer. Has gotten 9 points. 4 of those points coming from the free throw line. There's 2 of 9 shooting overall. Furman, who picks up his second foul, exits for a moment. The freshman Bamboye returns. Ramblers looking for a 16th straight win here at home, dating back to last year. The preseason pick in the A-10, looking to get a gritty road win early in conference play. Jackson tried to lump it inside, and the catch and flush there for Bamboye. That maybe was not as gorgeous as they would have hoped for on the lob, but it still worked. And how about Bamboye up for the deflection? Clark, yes! VCU going to the basket and rewarded, tied at 52. Rubin tapped out, off of Rubin, VCU ball.
I love this finish here by Jack Clark, because why? Well, that left hand, that was sweet over Rubin too. That is a shot, if perfected, put a little angle on it, it's impossible to block. There was a pretty good center, played for the Bucks and then the Lakers. He was pretty good at that shot, scored some points too. His name, oh, that's right, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but yet no one wants to shoot his shot. It's not cool, Jason.
If it goes in, it's cool. Shulga flips it up, not in. Gets it back. Nice pass. Clark able to finish. VCU leads again. Nice little 6-0 run in the last 61 seconds for the Rams to surge in front. And a timeout here, Loyola. Drew Valentine trying to steady things for his club. Max Shulga had a tough shooting afternoon, but a nifty little pass to Clark, and the Rams on top.
As a military veteran, I applied a lot of my discipline to my sales job. My paychecks are great, but commission can be unpredictable. Now I have Chime with Spot Me. They can cover you up to $200 in between paychecks with no overdraft fees. Join me at Chime.com.
Why is Navage trusted by millions?
Before Navage, I was not living my best life because I could not breathe. Constant nasal congestion, constant blowing of the nose. And the huge difference is the fact that Navage pulls it out. It's very gentle in the sense of when that suction happens, it's literally grabbing that water and that mucus and it's bringing it out into this tank. It's worth every penny that you pay for it. This product changed my life.
Navage, now available at warehouse clubs.
Those 26 miles in the rain?
Yeah.
FrameBridge can frame that with custom framing made easy.
First in my class.
Let FrameBridge frame that, either in-store or online.
This is Italy, Japan, 2013.
Why not frame them? They'll frame any memento, large or small. Whether it's a pic or a Picasso, FrameBridge will frame it with the highest quality materials. Millions of custom frames and counting. Get started today at framebridge.com.
Jack Clark of VCU started the game with a bang. Literally, right down the pike. And Tim, he has been effective finishing with a dozen points.
He's showing off his full bag of plays there, driving, scoring, checking out the keys to the game here. 76, VCU has not lost. They were trending in that direction. Now a little bit behind that number. They're winning the points in the paint. Rubin just hasn't gotten enough touches. And they're doing a nice job of limiting that three of VCU. Only 4 of 14. Rams came into this game one of the best three-point shooting teams in the conference.
That is a second look at our keys to the game brought to you by Fresh Pet. Jack Clark getting a little contact duty. nice to have a contact valet there on the side.
Oh, yeah.
Guy that's been around the block. 7th season of college basketball.
How many?
For Jack Clark. 7. Again, he's had 2 injury red shirts and then that COVID bonus season and his 4th stop along the way in college basketball. LaSalle, NC State, Clemson, VCU. Right now the Rams hoping to have him continue to work their way towards this road win. DeLoach and fouled on the way. Tim, you really almost never saw this before, but now you might see this a lot. A 4 spot of pictures of uniforms of guys in college basketball.
Yeah, amazing to see. And you know, you hate to see the struggles the guy has gone through medically, and you give him a lot of respect that he's been able to bounce back and stay on the court and still being a big-time contributor at VCU. When I see that picture, you know what I think? A lot of gear. But when he goes into the Hall of Fame, which team is he going to choose?
DeLoach able to stick the first. Now that is part of the storyline in the current landscape of college basketball, and one of 4 1,000-point scores on the roster for VCU, even if they didn't score all of those points in a VCU uniform.
Well, you can tell that Loyola's made a conscious effort of getting DeLoach touches down low. He's gotten fouled. He threw a great pass out for a 3. Look for Loyola to keep doing that on offense.
Rams have broken out of their little scoring funk, hitting 4 of their last 5. Bamboye seeing more and more minutes as the year has progressed. Freshman can't get it to fall. Back outside Jackson. And Zeb sticks 3.
He's been working on that jump shot. And there, the shooters love to shoot when that ball comes out from below, and he's able to bury a big one.
Corner pull-up. Touched out. Timeout. Zeb Jackson able to find a way to get VCU its first 3 of half number 2. And the Rams by 4.
Okay, I'll only be gone a couple days, Rumi.
Yay.
I put all the important contact info on the fridge.
That's all USAA.
So you can enjoy that sweet, sweet USAA service while I'm gone.
I know how to get in touch with USAA. I can file a claim or chat right in the app.
Good idea. I should add that.
USAA, auto, home, life, and bank.
So your credit tanked, and now you have 3 roommates. Well, you're in luck, because Self will securely report your positive rent payments to all 3 credit bureaus for free. So you can increase your credit score and improve your living situation. Get free rent reporting. Download Self today.
When you can't take your bed to the store,
You might be alone.
there's Instacart.
Introducing Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Mando's different. It's tough enough to control body odor in all your toughest smelling places. How does Mando work? Rather than covering up odor with heavy fragrances, Mando stops odor before it starts. Our formula is powered by an acidified technology and pH optimized. It works by blocking bacteria from digesting fluids on your skin like sweat anywhere on your body. Order Mando Whole Body Deodorant today and control your body odor better everywhere.
For the best deals, go to shopmando.com.
Welcome back to college basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Freshpet. And a fresh start for VCU here at this stage of the second half as they surge in front by 4. College basketball on CBS Sports Network, presented by Freshpet, including a bunch of good games taken to the Big 12 Conference USA, Missouri Valley as well. All ahead here on CBS Sports Network. Tim Doyle, how about your thoughts of what you like to see here across the landscape of college hoops?
Well, we heard Cooper Flagg was good. He's better than good. He does a little bit of everything. He's been great, the freshman from Duke. Tennessee, they got some tough games coming up. Auburn a little later in the schedule, too. Rutgers, Ace Bailey was out of this world against Indiana. They lost that game. They lost most recently to Princeton. I don't believe, my own opinion, one and dones is the way to build a team. And then Darren DeVries brought his son over to West Virginia. He's been a little banged up. They've had some monster wins, also knocked off Gonzaga this year. Mountaineers are back.
Big win for WVU today at the Coliseum here on CBS Sports Network. Sure, they were rocking in Morgantown, and this building was rocking here in Chicago. What's changed for VCU to kind of take the Loyola Ramblers out of their rhythm?
Well, it hasn't been a lot to cheer about. Loyola's only made 4 field goals in the second half. So they've gotten stops, but they got to put the ball in the basket. That's what gets the crowd excited.
How about the second chance points? For a second straight game, Loyola getting dominated in that category. Jackson, another three. Zeb Jackson had 4 triples against Nevada and a season-high 18 points. And now delivering a couple of key buckets here. 8 in all, including those pair of threes here in recent moments of the half. Trying to get it inside, but DeLoach out of the reach of Quinn. Jennings. Shoga. Shoga has it. 1 of 9 shooting, but he's got 5 boards and 5 assists. Another dime? Not quite. Clark can't do his part. Jackson. Rebound DeLoach. His 8th board of the game.
And you feel like that would have been a backbreaker if that would have went in. They would have pushed it to 9. Would have been VCU's largest lead of the game.
Quinn racing in. And a foul on VCU. That'll be on Jennings. Jalen Quinn trying to energize his unit. Just kind of flat for the moment. Missed their last 5 from the floor. No buckets in almost a 6-minute stretch.
Yeah, Loyola has made 5 free throws here in the second half and only 4 field goals.
Quinn able to drain the first. Career high 17 against College of Charleston 2 games ago. You know, when you go on a trip and you go 0-3, you're not feeling good. Does it make it better when you go 0-3 in Hawaii, do you think?
No, it actually makes it worse because the plane ride home.
Yeah.
We went 1-2 in Alaska, and it wasn't good. And by the way, there was no sun. The sun didn't come out. We were in Alaska that time of year. It was terrible.
Alaska's awesome. Right now, Gentile Arena trying to see if their team can rise its level. Jackson faked another 3. Furman on the inside. And again, he has been super strong in the post. 6 of 8 shooting for a dozen points and the chance to get more for the strike.
You know what I've loved about him is when he gets an edge, he doesn't go right up. Bam! See that little fake? That's what was able to get him to the line. Ruben's a little late on the help. But he has had some open looks and he has taken his time. I think this is a good foul here. Make Furman go to the line and earn him.
3rd on Edwards.
40% on the season.
That one up and through. Coria, Quinn back in. See DeLoach, one of those, getting a breather. And Furman confidently drains both.
This crowd wants to get in the game. They just have to make a shot.
Christian Furman with 14, matching his career high. Watson, yes! First bucket of the second half for Des Watson after 17 in the first 20 minutes. Jackson step back. Energy from Russell. Had an alley and gets it down off the glass.
A long shot from VCU created a long rebound. And then Russell, good pull-up.
Also quiets the crowd momentarily. Rubin finds the loose change. Edwards has it lip out. Extra energy there from Jackson, and Loyola really trying to get in the way and muck up that attempt. And now Quinn a bit out of control. Russell going to win the race down to get it. Looking for space, Jackson. That's three! Ryan Odom wants a timeout. And a big swing there for VCU. Rams by 8, largest lead of the game, back in 30 seconds.
25 years. You'd be like, that has got to be some scrumptious jam.
Geico.
I just hurt my neck because I fell out of my chair because my boss just told me that our new starter pack just dropped. A solid stick of deodorant in the scent of your choice. A cream tube of deodorant in the scent of your choice. Plus 2 free items, plus free shipping.
The energy level rising here in Chicago. Stress level too, and sometimes the stress makes you do funky things.
Well, this is a great job by Russell running down the ball and change of direction. And then if you had to name the most valuable player in this game, hard not to go with Zep Jackson. He has made every big shot in the second half for VCU.
Again, is all 3 threes here for the Rams after the break. For a team we talked about takes the most. Take the 20. They average about 30 triple tries a game. Jackson takes a seat after some strong work. He's one of 4 Rams in double figures. Russell leads the way with 15. Jackson is 11. Clark 12. Furman 14. There's Watson with 20. Dawson 10. The only Ramblers with 10 or more. Who's your focus right now in this set?
I think this is all just to try to get Watson a touch at some point.
That's what they got. Couldn't deliver. Clark able to track it down to the corner. Ramblers just one of their last 8 shooting. Russell into the grill of Dawson, who picks up his 4th foul.
Yeah, well said there, partner. He could feel his defender was being a little overzealous, and he basically just jumped into him, made the ref made a call. He had an edge here. See right there, he has him on his back. Boom, jumps into him. Dawson doesn't like the call, but veteran savvy play for Phil Russell.
DeLoach, Glaskov back in. Dawson with the 4 fouls. Rubin taking a seat as well. See the shooting numbers for Russell. 5 of 7 at the line too. Make it 6 of 8. (69-59). And the call in the backcourt, trying to apply some pressure. Well, for those of you tuning in for the Kansas State TCU game, you'll be able to find it streaming here on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN as soon as it tips off. Of course, get you out there immediately after the conclusion of this game. Clark.
And now if you're VCU, you can play the clock game. It's a double-digit lead, largest of the game for the Rams.
DeLoach can't finish on the layup. An empty trip at a bad time for the Ramblers. And another three. This time it's Russell. .10 run in less than 2 minutes for VCU, and it's a game changer.
Now if you're Loyola, you got to start going fast. First good look.
Edwards has a step. Furman coming over. Clark able to clear it. Excellent help defense there for the Rams, and they have thrown a net on Loyola Chicago here in the second half. Ramblers just 22%, 5 of 23 from the field here after the break. And now Shulga attacking and a timeout on the floor.
VCU trailed at the half, but they have come out with fire in their belly, and they got the lead here in Chicago.
What would you pay for an iPad Pro? I only paid $42 on Deal Dash.
DealDash.com. Online auction since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. And this smart charcoal grill sold for $16. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20. Deals like these and many more happen in the thousands of daily auctions on DealDash.com. All auctions start at $0. And remember, everything must go.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And you get a 90-day money-back guarantee with your first purchase.
This brand new iPhone sold for less than $42. And this DJI drone sold for less than $21.
And I got it for $16 on Deal Dash.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
There are auctions going on right now. So what are you waiting for?
Whoa, now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth. But they just use Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
How about a look at our old Trapper Beef Jerky players of the game today?
Well, the bench has been awesome for VCU. They've outscored Loyola 27-13. Been a few different contributors for VCU and their head coach Ryan Odom. Phil Russell's made some big shots, but Zeph Jackson off the bench with 11. Furman getting close to the basket, finishing. They've been efficient from 3, this group, 7 of 13, and now in full control of this game.
Ryan Odom and the second unit delivering some key moments here, especially after the break. Loyola hasn't dropped a home game in nearly a year, but it's going to take a frenetic finish to keep that string rolling, including all 8 they've played here at Gentile Arena so far this season.
Well, you can see with Loyola how much they're missing their point guard, Justin Moore, because when they went through a lull here in the second half, they've only made 5 field goals. They had a hard time getting into any sort of consistent offense. They tried a few different things. When Des Watson got shut down in the second half, Jason, that was really the turning point in the game.
And 17, he lit it up for the Ramblers. First half, just a single triple his scoring load after the break. 12-0 run for VCU in about the last 2.5 minutes. And now look at the attack. How about the save and the hustle from Jennings? traffic. And now they're going to call a flop in the backcourt on VCU.
I think they got a double foul here on Watson and Russell.
Well, the Kansas State TCU game is underway and available streaming free on the CBS Sports app or at cbssports.com/CBSSN. We'll get you out there as soon as the game is over. You see double foul there?
Yes.
They try to check out the backside of Michael Lucky as he made that signal.
How great was that play that Jennings made? I mean, steal, you're thinking as a coach, pull it out, pull it out. He's thinking, forget that, I'm taking it to the hoop.
I heard that offsetting, dead ball. My fault, saw his hands going out like maybe that flop call, but instead it's going to be offsetting.
Yeah, I mean, it's conference play. If there's emotion being here, Loyola doesn't lose at home. You see the finish here by Jennings, and then, oh, boom. Yeah, you got two guys getting physical.
You know what? Not seeing that contact, that was not a flop. That was heavy contact.
Yes, it was.
Looking away from it towards the basket, and Watson definitely sent him thumping down. And that's part of the reason why the frustration, Tim, is the Rams have authored this 14-0 run. Ramblers have done such a good job of protecting their home floor the last year plus. That's why this has got to be shocking, especially to the crew here at Gentile Arena. And another ill-fated attempt from long range for Loyola Chicago here second half. Plenty of space for Russell to continue to pour it on, make it 16 straight points for VCU. And Shoga tangling with Edwards. Man, this has got to feel good for Ryan Odom and this VCU team. We mentioned the close losses kind of trending in that neighborhood again, and man, they have just mashed the gas here down the stretch, especially after that rugged loss at St. Bonaventure. You opened the year, Tim, at St. Bonaventure, at Loyola Chicago, and the split in that's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, eyeball test. I know they've lost, 4 games coming into this game today against Loyola, but 3 of those 4 losses are by 3 points or less. So, could be 13-1 really if you win some games down the stretch. They're really physical. Defense was awesome. I mean, they give up 50% shooting in the first half, and then in the second half, Loyola's hovering around 20% from the field.
What'd you say? Get to 76? They're at 78. Get 8-0 when they've gotten to at least 76 points this year. And now Loyola foul. Caleb Reese on the floor here for Loyola. Jack Turner as well. Drew Valentine getting some of the backups some time here down the stretch. We'll see Safadine and Dowie as well. And it's going to be back to work for this team, Tim, that started 8-0. And they were 1-5. It looks like if this holds since.
Well, it's really a story of 2 halves, right? Things were working in the first half. All right, what was working? Well, we were setting good screens for Des Watson. He was making shots. Second half was going to get him any touches. How do we score? Do we go to DeLoach? How could we possibly get Sheldon Edwards Jr. going? He really was a non-factor in this game. You lose your point guard. You get back Dawson in this spot. And this is a team trying to figure out its identity.
Tap out from Clark. Why not? Russell delivers his 5th triple of the game.
And they're still pressing VCU. They're up 20 with 1:30 left.
And Russell on a heater right now. 26 last game against St. Bonaventure, has backed it up with 25 on this day.
I'll be honest, I don't know why you shot this ball, right? You're up 17, you got plenty of time on the shot clock. You know why he shot it? Because he's feeling it. And now VCU's pressing, they're fouling. This is where Ryan Odom goes, guys, this isn't a close game. Let's play out the string.
Next two for VCU at home at the Siegel Center. Fordham on Wednesday, then St. Louis, January 14th. And everybody there, including the Peppas, will be dancing up a storm. And another great college hoop atmosphere in the conference. Three-point lead for the Ramblers at the break, and in danger of going down 20+ here. Clark, Shoga, doing what he does. Hustle plays, extra effort, rebound, bucket, and a free throw ahead.
Yeah, it was not necessarily his best offensive game, but staying with it, still out on the floor with a minute left and up 20. I think he's finally going to earn himself a trip to the bench if he makes this free throw. College coaches have a hard time conceding that they may actually win a game before the buzzer goes off.
And it will be Shoga going out. 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists for him. Alfonso Fats Billups checking in. Terrence Hill Jr. on the floor for the first time. It will be Okafor as well. Some of the backups getting some run here at the tail end, including Jack Turner. He was supposed to redshirt this year, but again, with some of the injury issues, they pulled it, and he's seen some minutes for the Ramblers of late.
Now, that's not easy to do. Not play at all, step in the game, and put up a deep three. They got double technicals here.
Yeah. Yeah. Both benches got a little jawing going on. Again, we mentioned anticipation, expectation rising in the new year in the heart of conference play. Passion as well. And Loyola cannot be pleased with what's transpired.
Well, they haven't lost at home in a while, and not only have they lost this game, they're going to lose handily. And VCU is still playing. They're still trying to score, pressure. They play until the buzzer here. I was impressed with their performance.
Tap there on the edge for Zachary Royster won't fall. And it's a second half that Drew Valentine will have to parse through and dissect with his crew. And it goes down as another loss for